2001, a real-world exercise tested the emergency response to a bioterror attack on the continental United States. The operation was called Dark Winter. Within just a few days, the simulation spiraled out of control. The operation predicted a rapid breakdown in essential institutions, civil disorder, and massive civilian casualties. Dark Winter has revealed how vulnerable we've become.
By the time patient zero feels the first sore throat, millions of people will already be infected. From this point, the breakdown will happen fast. The only question left is, what will it take to save what remains?
Hello, fellow gamers. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's Ubisoft. This game is going to get downgraded so goddamn hard. Next gen is going to feel it. Well, I have some news for you. Good news, in fact. We had a new actual Xbox One E3 showing, and we can all rest easy on this score. But more on that at the end of the video. Let's first go through the details and info on this very engaging looking game from Massive Entertainment. Set in a not too distant future in the Big Apple, a pandemic has gripped New York, and all basic services have failed, highlighting the human condition and society as a whole. Within days of no food and water, chaos consumes all. The title comes from the special government group set up for just such an event. Inspired by the real-life Directive 51 and based on the Dark Winter project, on Black Friday a man-made virus breaks out across New York, and within 5 days everything turns to shit. This then causes the division to rally into action, or the Strategic Homeland Division, SHD. This is where you, or we, come in. As the player, you play as a member of this elite force trying to restore order in this fragile city in the midst of society's breakdown. Think The Walking Dead or DayZ, or just about any apocalyptic world where the biggest threat to man is indeed man. Restoring order requires you to take back the city and work in tandem with other teams and players in this persistent open world RPG, with exploration and character progression vital to your survival and success. Using tactical skills and gadgets to aid and secure depots with your go bag fully customizable as you see fit, you stay in constant contact with your team using your smart watch, which also serves as your hub for navigation, weapon selection, upgrades, and augmented maps, or mega maps as the team calls it. And this is my first minor niggle. Go bag and mega map sounds like something out of Power Rangers, so maybe a little bit more work and detail here is needed. It's minor. The game is all about online and teamwork. Having a full drop-in and drop-out co-op allows a seamless link from the story, as you can play how, when it suits. Following the MMO game style, you gain XP throughout the game, which can be used for your character's progression. Again, you can loot fallen foes, trade in-game with other players or citizens, and this creates not only a very unique experience, but hopefully also a suspenseful one. Anyone who has played DayZ knows the nervousness of meeting up with another group and having the anxiety session kick in of not knowing if it will turn nasty or not. This element of the district is ever present within this world, and hopefully this is something they can work on. We also have the chance of in-game NPCs, and danger can come from anywhere in the world. It is also managed through a system in the game which uses a city morale, so basically your in-game actions affect how people see you and how the world reacts around you. It is interesting to see how this plays out, and it's not just a bar like it was in Watch Dogs. You can recapture points across the city and establish posts for medics, armory, supplies, etc. And these look to be upgraded and improved based on the said XP earned in the game or in-game items and currency, also based on your actions. With you can see here one of the depots, you can set up a trade station and an armory and medical facilities. It then looks at things like the contamination level, the staffing, the power lines, the personnel on board, and also the links with which you can fast travel from one end of the city to the other. It doesn't look like you can travel anywhere from one depot to the next, so it looks like it's based on a tube or grid station for fast travel, which all looks very interesting. Judging by the statistics on screen, I'll be interested to see how the in-game morale system affects the gameplay, with the NPCs in each depot having a higher or lower level of contamination risk, also their morale, their armory and their security. So I'm assuming the chance of them getting attacked and defending themselves if you're not present falls under the category, so there could be a very strong leading towards some kind of RTS element within the game as well. One of the other big fears is ever present in Ubisoft at this point is the bait and switch, which as a Ubisoft game is a reputation that they have arguably earned slightly with previous history. With this game, and specifically the engine being developed specifically for next gen or now gen consoles from its initial announcement, unlike Another Dog we all know, the focus has always been on a far more known quantity. The engine is designed around not using brute force, so they already knew the specs and the power they were working to. And it's not only about that, but also about cost of development and keeping it to a minimum. It's a completely node-based development system. That means the developers could use sliders and drag and drop within the system to make the process far easier and less tolerant on programmers, coders and artists, which keeps costs down, times down, and also makes things far easier to change within the development process. And multi-platform development means you can't go under the hood and spend all your time developing for one platform. You have to hit a mean ground, and these kind of engines and tools are going to help those mean grounds be hit and hit a far superior version across all formats. Later on, a PC version was announced after some community requests. And here we have a hopefully 2015 release that falls into the far more appropriate realm of being now gen only. Upon its first showing, it again gave Ubisoft a Game of Show reveal, and was another visual splendour. The reveal showed us a detailed and snow-covered New York bathed in the Manhattan skyline and Christmas lights. It again screamed next gen all the time and demoed a very dynamic world with well-rehearsed cross-chat game comms. From the dynamic global illumination system and destruction to the organic flow of battles made a deep impression. Lights flicker and fall, glass shatters and breaks, and procedural damage can be seen throughout the world and a littered array of well-placed cars. The intro in particular is superb, as it drops down from the high-rise to street level with no change from in-game cinematic to player control evident. It all sings, "Oh yeah, wait till we see you next year." Well, here we are with a game that has the same visual splendour and detail, with an identical intro from skyline to headline, intact and just as seamless as before. The IQ has taken, as expected, a dip with the X1 demo shown running here, which looks to be running at a 792 resolution. But as we are over a year from release, and with two more studios now involved working on this with Massive, which are Red Storm and Reflections Ubisoft, I would imagine a full 1080 on X1 is not out of the question at this point, with a minimum 900p being nailed on at this point. Now, many hands does not always make light work, so I hope Ubisoft keeps it down to this level and does not do its usual problem and throw bods at it, but my expectations for this game are high. Now, expected IQ drop aside, what can we see? We have some shadow aliasing on characters along with some low resolution environmental and character shadow around the scenes, and you can see some small frame drops in the gameplay. But we are months out from any optimization work, so all these and more improvements will come in the final build, I am sure. We can see the same gorgeous global illumination and effect, giving you a vast range of light and colour levels, along with dynamic shadows and reflections with a far more accurate version of SSR in action than Ubisoft's other engine games like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. The reflections do seem slightly low res as well, but this is something else that again can be picked up in the optimization work. There is great lighting work from the contrast change from indoor to outdoor, and again looking up at the smog-filled skyline with the sun just pushing through volumetric light shafts, which gives us a good example of the HDR system in effect. A full particle system gives us different types of snow, and a dynamic weather and day and night cycle also isn't evident, and we have yet to see the rain, so there's a lot more tricks for this game to show us. Character animation and blending animation is very good, and more than up to the reveal animation. You can see here the slightly lower resolution casted shadows, and also the high quality textures effect in this game. The texture quality on character models, backgrounds, scenery and objects is stupendously high, and they're certainly using all the RAM available to them, just like they will do on all games going forward. Also in the reveal we saw the amazing next gen door closing interaction in play. Happily this seems to have survived and is evident in this showing here, with the procedural destruction from the reveal also in effect. Back then we got billboards that split and splintered, we got glass that cracked and shattered, and cars that deformed and tyres that popped. Here we get the same glass destruction, we also see bullets deforming metal sheets, concrete splits and shatters, we get paint pots that explode and leave a liquid eruption and stain on nearby scenery. All this adds to the deep immersion in this persistent and online world. You can see here that the cars deform from gunshots, and the gadget here not only blinds the enemy, but also destroys and cracks the glass and the wooden slats propped up against the bus stop behind. The game has a realistic physics engine in place that affect objects within the game, along with transparent cloth and physics on these materials. They are all in heavy abundance here. And you also have the new thing this gen, again fringing on the edge of the screen or when you're being suppressed from fire. Chromatic aberration is here to stay it seems, but it is subtle here and nicely done. Not only does it work well, but it also aids IQ. You can see the light reflecting off the virtual lens here from the fire, and all in all there are lots and lots of nice shader effects in abundance, and they all work very well. The superb particle system with individual light sources and is affected by the wind. You can see this under the light spot here as the wind changes direction. So there's a lot of dynamic and physics part based in this world that's going to make a lot of impact when you're playing the game. With such a strong visual, integrated real-world physics and a persistent world, it looks to be another jewel in the Ubisoft empire. If I'm to get a little picky in areas, then it would be nice to see a larger set piece in areas that are bigger than what looks like to be a slightly small closed-off section. It would also be good to see some small touches to the visuals like footprints in the snow, and maybe more interaction with the objects in the world. Also of interest would be to see how NPCs in the game interact with you when they're not out to blow your face off. It'd be nice to see how they interact and work with other characters in the game, and if they also aid you in battles if you don't have any friends online to play and help you in those firefights. But all these are just small nitpicks and unknowns at this point, with the development cycle still a year out from finish. Massive and Ubisoft have delivered on their initial promise 100%, and with another year or more of development, I cannot wait to get a bite of the big apple and just see how far this world goes. It is a great showing for all platforms, on whether you've got PC, Xbox One or PS4, and such a detailed multi-platform game so early in the cycle just makes me sad that we've got to wait another year to play it. The way teamwork and battles play out, the tactical side of all the gadgets in the game and how you can strategically win each fight without having to go gung-ho, it really looks very, very interesting indeed. And you even get to play as a female in the game. They've got all bases covered. 2015 is going to be a year that is going to cost us a goddamn fortune, but boy does it look to deliver. Well, as always, please subscribe and thumb up if you enjoyed and liked this and more fresh content. It really helps me immensely and I really, really appreciate it. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedbacks below. As always, you guys and girls take care, and I will see you soon on the next one.
Okay, let's take these guys out first, as quietly as possible.
Alright, I have Tesla and Pulse up.
Alright, Ryan, let's change up our skills.
Just check this. Yeah, whatever.
I'll pull aggro from the left here. You guys good to go? All good.
Yep, ready.
Alright, here we go.
Up there!
He's down. Get that last guy, Don't
I
let him
can't, he's getting away.
He's gone. Guy incoming.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, coming from the right. Find cover. Ooh, watch out.
Holy crap.
There they are.
There's loads of them.
I can't get a shot. Try and hit him from the right.
Can't. I'm gonna switch my weapon.
Okay, I got you. I'm moving up.
I'm moving up.
Okay.
Chris, can you mark some of these guys?
Ryan's got trouble.
I can't move, I'm pinned.
Gotta hit him, Chris. It's all you, dude. Yeah, I'm on it. Light him up.
Oh god, look out.
Let's go. Get down. I'm pushing forward.
Bronson, wait.
I'm down.
Hold on.
Let's go, revive me. Let's go.
Oh, there's a guy right behind me. Alright, you're fine. Get up.
Okay, last two. Hit him.
Turret's down. Get this guy on the left. Good. Okay, go. We gotta move up forward.
Last one. Keep the pressure on. Whoa. Wait for him to reload.
This guy's nuts. Somebody do something. Come on.
Yes! That is the last one. Good game, guys.
Okay, that was good. Welcome, guys. So this is the base of operations.
Sweet home, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But it's huge.
Let's try to get medical online first.